on purpose. And as I listened to Leah, it was very interesting because it's like you picked my topic. You were talking about what I was going to talk about, you know, and it was really interesting. And what went through my mind is, it seems if you really care and you're in your purpose, we kind of have a similar language, because it's the language of personal development, of you becoming your best from inside out. And that's what I got from Leah. Leah being someone who teaches about money, a lot about money, and I love the way she does it. I have personally benefited a lot from Leah. And I talk about life and other aspects of life. And yet, when listening to her, what she was saying and what I'm going to talk about kind of mixed together somehow. So it was pretty exciting to hear her speak. And some of the things that Leah said are these. She gave her story. Leah's story is really awesome. I don't know if she gave it all because I think she had already begun. But what I know from her story, it is awesome. And she teaches from her story, and that's what makes it even more interesting. And when she talked about when her eyes failed, what kept her going? What really kept her going? I believe it's her purpose. Knowing her why. The why she's in this world. Knowing her why is what kept her going. Instead of her going, as she said, she could have chosen, because she was a very young girl. She was very, very young. She could have looked for a sponsor. Isn't it? Things had really become big. Eh? She was really serious. She had taken money from her mom. How do I go and tell my mother I've actually lost all the money? I have nothing. You know? But yet, because she knew who she was and she knew what her purpose was, she persevered. And that's why we see her today with a book and doing the great work that she's doing. What else did she say? She said about fear keeping you away from who you are. So fear can keep you away from your purpose and service to humanity. And yet our purpose is about adding value and having a passion for what we do. As she said, the sky is the limit once you know your purpose. And she talked about becoming a jack of all trades. That, you know, when this doesn't work, try this again. I used to be one of those. You know, I used to be a jackass. Let me call it jackass because we can't say jack. I'm not a man. But, you know, I used to be one of those, and I used to do so many things here and there. Things were not working out, so I'll try something else. Why did I do my purpose? And since I got to know my purpose, I no longer do anything else. And even if I decided to do another side videos, I would know why I'm doing that. But I would not be touching here, touching here, touching here, because I don't know who I am. So we become jack of all trades because we don't know our purpose. And once we identify our purpose, then we know how to live our lives. So I was just going over a bit of what I got from Leah. And now we will go on to the purpose aspect, on living on purpose. Let me ask you, how many purposes? How do you define purpose? How do you define purpose? Sorry? Yes. Who else? Or something else? Don't worry, there's nothing wrong or right here. Yeah, we're just saying what we think this is. Yes, Leah. Okay, you follow your passion, it will get you to your purpose. Yeah, so passion. Purpose is about passion, yes? Okay. Okay, what I'm going to say today is that passion and purpose, we all serve. And we all came with something we were going to give the world. And therefore, we are here to serve in our own unique way, with our own giftings and our own talents. Unfortunately, with life, as we go through life, we get lost. And life and the people in our lives tell us and what we should be doing. Therefore, we start to lose ourselves and to lose our purpose in life. There was this great man called William Barclay. William Barclay said that there are two great days in a person's life. The day we are born and the day we discover why. The day we are born and the day we discover why. I like the second one most. The day we discover why. Because when you discover why and you discover your purpose, let me tell you, life will not always be a straight line. It will not always be easy. But you will be able to have fulfillment. And you will have joy doing what you know you came to do. And because you will be touching people as you serve them and doing exactly what you came to do. I don't know, has anybody ever heard of the story of the eagle who lived with chickens? No. Okay. Let me give it to you very quickly. And see, we will tell you. So there was this eagle, there was this farmer who picked up a eagle and he went and put it together with his chicken eggs. With time, the egg hatched. And out came the eagle, and the eagle grew, did what chickens do. It would hop around, peck the ground for food, and just be a chicken. One day, time went on, and he became old. One day, he looked up, and in awe, he saw this amazing bird soaring up in the sky, seemingly owning the space it was in. And in awe, he looked up and asked the other chicken beside him, "Who is that?" And the other chicken looked at him and told him, "Oh, that's Mr. Eagle. But we're not like that. We're chickens." So the eagle watched for a while and then went back to being a chicken. So I find this very sad. The story goes on. There are other aspects of that story, but I'm going to do that. What does that tell you about purpose? About the importance of knowing why we are here. Imagine you're an eagle. What can an eagle do? Just imagine that eagle is the king of the birds. And yet this eagle believed he was a chicken and therefore did not do what he could do. He could have been able to soar right high up like the other one, isn't it? He would have been able to do amazing things. And I'm sure as he looked up, something within him must have stirred and told him, you know, he must have felt a connection. But because he believed what he was told, he stayed still. And there's nothing wrong with being a chicken. If you're a chicken, then be the best, isn't it? But if you're an eagle and you don't know that you are and you're living like a chicken, then it's a very sad thing. And I equate that to purpose. And our lives are usually not full. We're usually not happy. We don't become all we could be simply because we have not discovered what our service is. Because our purpose as human beings is to come and serve. What is that? What is the service that I came to bring to the world? What is that I came to give the people in the world? And you know what? Everybody has their people. There are people you came to serve and people who are waiting for you to go and give them that service. So if you don't do it, you can imagine, they're going to be left kind of hanging and not having something that would have fulfilled them in their lives. So remember that you're important. We all have something that we came to give. And the difference is because we can all be doing the same thing. We can all be in IT, we can all be life coaches, we can be teachers. But the difference is that you are unique and you have your own unique story. Your story is not the same as the other person. And because of your story, there are people who are going to be drawn to you, that you're going to touch and help become better in every area in their lives. So it is very important for us to actually know what our purpose is in life. Another thing I see as very important in purpose is authenticity. Who are you? Who am I? Are you being authentic in the life that you're living? Are you really being you? Do you even know who you are? Do you know what you're supposed to be doing in this world? A lot of times we live fake lives. Do you agree with me? Many times we want to be what the people we're interacting with want us to be. And very few people who have the courage to actually authentically step out and become who you know they. It's very few people who do that. So authentic are you in life? Who are you? What do you love to do? What is that that you love to do? What is that that you would love to do or be that you have not allowed yourself to do? Simply because you didn't feel you would belong in the area you're in. Maybe what will my family think of me? I've always been this person who behaves this way. Now if I change, what are they going to think of me? What will my friends think? I won't have friends. I'm going to be alone. And rejection is one of the biggest things that we fear as human beings. We're so afraid to be rejected. So many times we live a life that is not in line with our purpose, simply because we are afraid that we will not fit in. So it is very important for us to be authentic, to be yourself. What is it that you love? What is that thing that you love? To love to do that, even if that comes so naturally. So choose to be authentic and to live your life the way you know you need to live it. And about meaning as well. If you're living in your purpose, from your purpose, then you're going to have meaning in life. It gives you meaning. And when you have meaning, you're not going to go looking for other people to do things that you can do for yourself, and maybe sometimes even getting angry with them because they didn't become who you needed them to be. So when you have a meaning in life, you will stick to whatever, stick to your purpose. So purpose is meaning in life. And then one thing I would like to say is give yourself permission to become who you need to be. Who do you know you truly are? Give yourself permission. Even if people will not agree with you, give yourself permission, because I can assure you that's where happiness is. That's where you're going to be happy and you're going to feel fulfilled when you're living the life you're meant to be living. Contrary to popular belief, your purpose isn't your job or profession. It's not your job or profession. It's much bigger than that. It's something that you do with intention that has meaning to you. A meaning bigger than making money, bigger than being famous, bigger than having a big house. It is not just about the job. And that's where we confuse ourselves, because we think purpose is about our jobs. We think purpose is about profession. It is not. It is much than that. Because when you look at it as service, are there jobs we do where we don't really serve? We do it simply because we have to, isn't it? Because if you're somewhere and you're doing it because you have to, you're not serving. How many times have you gone to some offices and you find that the people are not very nice? Have you done that? Have you been to some offices? And yet sometimes you go to some offices, the work is hard, but the people are nice, isn't it? The other day I went to electricity house to sort out something. And imagine, I met this lady and she had this pile of papers of our mistakes, because of the mistakes people had made when they keyed in their payment and sent to the wrong accounts. So she had all these papers and she looked exhausted. It was late in the evening. But that lady was so nice. She was so good and professional. And she really helped me and all the other people who were there. Now I believe that the lady is leaving her service there. She's in a job. As Leah said, there are people who say they don't want to do business. They want to be in the job, and they know that that's where their purpose is. So she was so good. She served us so well, and I went away very happy and blessing. So this is a person who is living her life authentically and living what she came to do. So it's not about the jobs. It's not about professions. So what are some of the pitfalls of not living from your purpose? One of the biggest that I have experienced in my life is you get to relate with people who are not going to take you to where you need to go. People who don't recognize your purpose, people who will not even allow you to live in your purpose because they themselves don't even know your purpose. So you can imagine when you're living with people who don't know their purpose, are they really going to help you? No. So that's one of the pitfalls. And then you stay with people who are not aligned to their purpose. I've said that. And You start doing things and you do work. You do things that are not aligned to your purpose simply because you have to do them and you need to live. But it's not something that happens you or you feel passionate about. It's not. So how then can I find my purpose? I'm sure you're asking. By asking the right questions. One, am I doing what I love? Ask yourself that question. Are you doing what you love? Look at the whole of your life. This is not just about work. It's every aspect of your life. Family, friends, social, wherever you are. Are you doing what you love? Are you hanging out with people you love? Even if it's volunteering, are you volunteering in areas that you love to do what is in that space? Do you love kids? And yet you're volunteering with Nyumba ya Wazee. Are you going to be fulfilled? You're volunteering, yes, you're doing a service, but you're not going to. But if you love kids and you volunteer with the kids, it's going to be wonderful, isn't it? So, things outside of you, for example, art, writing. What are some of those things that are not necessarily work, but we love to do that we left? For example, I stopped acting. I love theater and drama and acting. And after university, I finished, I got married, children, what? And I stopped. And I also love doing things with my hands. I stopped. But now I'm starting to get back to that because I'm asking myself, Wangari, who are you? And what are those things about you that you have stopped that bring you alive? Because who we are makes us alive. If we live according to who we are, you feel alive. Even if you're tired, even if some aspects of life are not working, you feel alive and you're still excited. And you have the drive to continue trying tomorrow again. You know that tomorrow is going to be a better day. So what are some of those things that you have learned, that you used to love to do? And because they don't seem like work and they are not bottom line bringing in money, or they don't seem like the right thing to do according to other people. In fact, it's so good because Leah shared how when she started writing, was like, what do you mean? Writing? Who writes in this family? Whoever made a living in this family writing, you know? But because Leah knew her big why, she knew her purpose, she continued with her writing. So what are some of those things that you love to do that you stopped because it's not cool anymore? Because people don't approve of it? Or simply because, like me, you became too busy with life? Number two, am I surrounded by people that I care about? Am I surrounded by people that I care about? These are the people who support you in your purpose. Be it family, be it friends, be it colleagues. Who are the people who support you? You need to understand that and stay away from those who don't support you. And it doesn't mean that you're going to divorce your family. Of course not, you can't. But what you do is you make sure that you spend most of your time with the people who support you. So who are those who support your purpose? In your family, your friends, at the work, wherever you are, in school? Who are the people who support you? Take a note and spend more time with such people. Am I happy with where I am? That's the third question you ask yourself. Every aspect of your life again. Am I happy with where I am? Ask if you are happy with what you have done. Your life till now, there are many you have done, isn't it? Are you happy with what you've done? Do you feel good about it when you look back? These are some of the questions we need to ask ourselves. Am I happy with what I've done? One of the pitfalls of this question is looking at other people. We really compare ourselves, isn't it? It's really tough. We compare ourselves and we think, oh my God, like me, I look at myself at my age. People have done this, this is what I should have done already by now. And I start feeling bad about myself. Or you look at somebody else and you're thinking, wow, this us done school together. We finished school together. Now look where they've gone. They were so far. They've gotten a job. They're the manager. They're whatever. Or someone is doing business and you're thinking they're doing better than you. Don't compare yourself. In fact, somebody said, only compare yourself with where you were yesterday. So if you want to compare, just compare with who you were before, yesterday or an hour before, but do not compare yourself with other people. Why? Because everybody is living according to their purpose. They are doing what they came to serve. So if you're comparing yourself with them, are you doing yourself a service? No, because you're different, you're unique, you're not them. So only judge yourself with yourself and don't judge yourself too much. But just looking, where was I yesterday? Where was I 2 years ago? Actually, I have done something, you know? I may not have done what others think I ought to have done, but I have done something. And be okay with that. Then ask yourself, what more can I do? What more can I do? What? Yeah? Okay, thanks. What really matters is, am I doing what I love and being okay with the journey that lies ahead? Am I doing what I love and being okay with the journey that lies ahead? When I look ahead, my goals, my vision, am I at this point happy with what I'm doing and looking ahead and saying, yes, I think I'll be okay because I'm actually in line with my purpose? Those are some of the questions we need to ask ourselves. Number 4, is there more I can do? I believe, yes, there is a lot more we can do. For example, contributing to society in a bigger way. How? What are the social issues that trigger you? What are those social issues that you look at and you think, oh my God, really? If only these people could be? Or those children in the homes, or those old people in the homes, or whatever. What is it that triggers you? That you could now decide to look for organizations who are dealing with it, to volunteer, or even begin something yourself. I feel satisfied. That's very important in passion, in purpose. How do we define success? Is it the big cars, the big houses, the trips to all those exotic places? And those are good. Those are really good. And money is good. It's really good to have a lot of money. It's good to be able to take these trips, have the kind of house you want, the kind of car you want. But if that is all your thinking is your purpose, then that's where the problem will come. Because these are things that one day we can have and another we don't have. And also, even if we continually have them, we will never be satisfied. We will always want the bigger, the newer. And you know what? Business people are really good at doing that for us. So, you know, there's this iPhone, there's this Samsung, I don't know, there's S-Watch, S6, S, you know. Yeah, and even the cars, they are coming different ones every day. And sometimes I want, do I really need a new one? Within 6 months, there's something new. I really need it. But because I believe that that is who I am, that I am that big car, I am that big house, I am that flashy this or the other, then of course I'll keep going for them, whether I have the money or not. And even if I have the money, it's not going to be fully satisfying until I'm serving, until I'm in the space of serving humanity. And then I will enjoy having these cars, this house, the trips, because they'll all be aligned to my purpose, and I'll be able to have fun with them. Choose your own definition of success rather than how people see it. Choose your own definition. And this is where it comes to giving yourself permission to be you, living authentically, being who you are. So choose your own definition of success. Are you ready to do that? It's not easy. Sometimes we get swayed, but I can assure you, when you choose your own definition and you live from your values, you're going to be happy in life, and you're going to live according to your purpose. So now what I'm going to, you know, our time is not very long, but let me say something. As I was thinking about this topic of purpose, I came across Steve Jobs, and I thought, you know, even exactly, this was a guy who was involved in this. And one of the things he said, his quotes are really, really powerful. For the past 33 years, I have looked in the mirror every morning and asked myself, if today were the last day of my life, would I want to do what I am about to do today? If today was the last day of my life, would I be doing what I am about to do today? And I think that's a question that really kind of slaps you in the face when you're not being authentic, when you're listening to everybody else but not yourself, and realizing that I don't have a chance to actually enjoy my life being who I am. That will bring you back very quickly to deciding to actually live according to your purpose. And then he says, and whenever the answer has been no for me, for too many days in a row, I know I need to change something. Okay, another one again. Remembering that you are going to die is the best way I know to avoid the trap of thinking you have something to lose. You are already naked. There is no reason not to follow your heart. And you know, it's very interesting because we always think we are not, death is for other people. No? Yeah, until you have cancer, like Job had, or you have something happens, or somebody very, very close to you dies. And then that's when you start asking these questions, which bring meaning to life. How much better would it be if we would be able to be asking ourselves the question Job asked himself every day? If I knew I was going to die tomorrow, would I do today what I'm about to do? Or would I do something different that really speaks to me and completely fulfills who I am? Would I care really about what other people think? Another one, your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. How many times do we live with people's results? We're so trapped by living with the results of other people's thinking instead of our own. I know for sure this is the path I'm supposed to take, but then I look around and I see what people are thinking and I follow. Don't let the noise of other people's opinions drown out your own inner voice. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and your intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. And I truly agree with you that your heart, your inner you knows who you need to become. Will you give it a chance rather than fight with who you know you are simply because you want to please the people around you? Simply because you're afraid to be rejected. Simply because you want to fit in. The last one I'm going to share is your work is going to fill a large part of your life. And the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. And the only way to do great work is to love what you do. You cannot love what you do if you're listening to other people. Or if you're following, it has to come from your heart, from inside you. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking. Don't settle, as with all matters of the heart, you will know when you find it. And I so agree. You will know when you find it. One of the things that I've gone back to that I love to do is crocheting. When I was a little girl, I really used to crochet. I used to crochet many things, and I have my dear auntie who had taught me how to do it. She was fantastic at crocheting and knitting. And for a long time, I've not done it. And then the other day, I met some ladies, and I joined their club, crocheting club. And today, as I was thinking about purpose, it occurred to me that is the same thing as in learning how to sew or crochet. Because many times on the WhatsApp, people will send in a message, oh dear, I've undone mine like 6 times. I've undone like 6 times. I've had to undo like 4 times. And then finally they do it. Some is really great work, some is not, but it's okay. And I thought, our life is like that. In finding our purpose is the same thing. You will keep undoing, because you try, no, that's not it. So you go back and you just like the crocheting, you keep undoing until you get it. Sometimes you will do not so great work, but it's okay, at least you tried it, and you're on your path. And then other times you will do amazing work. I wish I had come with some of the pictures because we have some other amazing things that have been done. You see some blankets, some of those ladies have done, and you can't believe that one time they were unraveling, they were undoing about 6 times. And I thought that was such a good analogy about our life in finding our purpose. That it's not a clear cut path, but it's a place we need to step into and start walking on that path. Sometimes we may get lost and get back, we look for it again. Other times we may need to take a detour, but it is okay. But it is okay. That's what you need to remember, that whatever mistakes you're going to make, whatever is not going to work as you walk in your purpose, is okay, because that's part of the lesson. That's part of the finding your purpose. But all I will ask you is, please, seek to know your purpose. Seek to know your purpose, because without knowing your purpose, you will never be fulfilled. Life will not be fulfilling. You may become awesomely rich and have all those things, but they will never fulfill you. Because the only thing that's going to fulfill us as human beings is when we do the service we came to do. And our purpose is about service. What we need to find out is how does that service look? Because everybody's is different and unique. So how does my service look? Wangari Maathai, we all know what her service was, and we are so grateful to her because we still have the Uhuru Parks, we have a lot of our forests, isn't it? We have Karora and other beautiful places in Kenya that you can go and relax and have a good time. Someone like Desmond Tutu in South Africa was one of the biggest peace creators and helping people come together and forgive each other in South Africa. We have so many examples now in Africa, but we don't talk about them. So what is your purpose? What is the service that you came to give mankind? Remember that you're relevant and you're important. And whatever you came to give is really needed in the world. So will you be willing to step out and be authentic, be real? Give yourself permission to shine and become the best that you can be as you live your purpose. Say no to people who are not taking you to where you need to go. Don't be angry with them because they're in their purpose. And sometimes when we are still not clear about our purpose, we're afraid to let other people become that. So don't be angry with them, but know that that's not where you're finding your purpose. Seek people who will help you find your purpose. And then ask yourself, what do I absolutely love to do? When am I my happiest? When am I at my best? What is it that I do and I do not feel like I'm working? What is that one thing that I'm so good at? So give yourself permission to shine and to give the service that you need to give.